Every year, over 200,000 children are born without the ability to smile and, even worse, breathe properly. 99% of people are born like this, with a full ability to breathe through their nasal airway passage. However, the other 1% look like this, with a cleft lip or palate, which makes life terribly difficult for these children as they grow up. In poorer areas, there is no way for many of these people to get healthcare, meaning thousands of them grow up without ever having an opportunity to receive surgery, which results in bullying and social isolation. But there is one organization that is making a big difference in communities all around the world. Meet Kathy.
40 years ago, my husband and I were asked to go to the Philippines. We landed in sites one after the next, and we saw 300 children with cleft lip and palates. We just didn't know what to do. We said, let's do what we can, and we were able to do 40. The rest we had to turn away. So we said to ourselves, okay, well, we should go back. We should at least finish.
This was the start of Operation Smile, and in 40 years, they've been able to achieve over 400,000 successful surgeries for patients in 36 countries all around the world. However, in Mexico, the number of cleft cases are quickly increasing and becoming difficult to maintain alone. They desperately need our help. So Darren and Dan flew to Puebla, Mexico, a city with rich Latin history and culture. On their arrival, Dan got the rare opportunity to showcase this incredible city from above by being invited to ring the cathedral bell at first light. They were welcomed by Mauricio.
I started with Operation Smile 11 years ago. One of the reasons why I wanted to dedicate my life into nonprofits is because in Mexico there's a huge gap between people that can actually have access to any surgery. I met a young lady, and when she came to one of our surgical programs, she had a bruised eye. They threw stones at her because of the way she spoke. It just broke my heart. This is one of the consequences of a cleft. I always say that behind the patient, there's a story, and behind this story, you have a human. And I decided to dedicate my life to the cleft cause in Mexico.
We met a young child, and he is one of the sweetest kids I've ever met in my entire life. But he has a terrible disfigurement on his face. And this child is so sweet and so loving, but it breaks my heart knowing the bullying that he is going to face as he grows up.
One of these patients is Emmanuel. 17 months ago, he was born with a bilateral cleft palate. He is the son of Geronimo, a single father who lives in the rural mountains of Chiapas. The cost of healthcare has proven to be extremely expensive for him, as he barely makes enough money to support his son, meaning that his only hope is to travel by bus for 17 hours to Puebla for the only chance of being selected for a surgery. And if not selected, it may be the last chance Geronimo has to get this opportunity for his son.
If you look out at any one of these programs, what we see are masses. It's not like 10 children, 2 children. It's masses of kids and families. We screen these families. You know, we look in their face. But if you look down, you see no shoes on their feet. They will do anything for their child.
I can only imagine the pain for a parent when they have a child that desperately needs a surgery and they cannot afford to provide it for them themselves.
And when we saw just how difficult this was for these families, we knew we had to help. So we decided to pay for over 100 surgeries. The next day, after the screening process was complete, it was time for the patient selection. Geronimo was extremely anxious because he wasn't sure if his son would be selected.
Today is a very emotional day for me. Behind me, we got the patients, and we're gonna do the surgical announcement. They are about just to be told that they're gonna be having a life change forever.
Kimberly, Roxani Vázquez, Eric, Caleb, Cárdenas de Jesús.
97 patients had already been selected, and Geronimo started to lose hope. It was time for patient number 99. He did it! Just look at the relief on his face.
Seeing the hope in these parents' faces when they bring these children to this clinic, knowing that they are finally going to get the medical care that they need, is truly an experience that moves the heart.
Emmanuel's surgery would take the whole day, so while the doctors operated, Dan and Darren went to explore the city.
We were walking through the park and we just found a mariachi band. And it's always been a dream of Darren's to join a mariachi band. So hopefully I can make this dream come true. Sorry. And my friend over there, he wants to join the band.
Okay.
We got your ad. I think we have to shut this down. This is terrible.
That was one of the greatest experiences of my life.
That shows you how boring Darren's life is.
Emmanuel's surgery is now complete, and this will be the first time Geronimo will ever see his son smile.
One of my favorite moments in a surgical program, it's when the kid comes out of surgery, because this is the first time that the parents are gonna see the kids with the surgery. It's just such an emotional moment because you change the life, not only of the patient, but the family and the society. Our patients are gonna have the opportunity to actually have a normal life.
A healed cleft means that all these children will grow up not having to worry about being bullied. And on top of these extraordinary surgeries, Operation Smile also provides all of their patients with free speech and vocal therapy, meaning that they will learn how to speak clearly and fluently.
But we had one more surprise left.
Kathy told us about a young nursing student, Fernanda, who was treated by Operation Smile 17 years ago.
Yo sabía que quería estudiar enfermería porque yo quiero ayudar a niños como yo.
When you go home, you tell your family that they don't have to pay for you anymore. We're going to give you a full scholarship and we'll pay for you to finish your nursing school. So I think you're going to be an excellent nurse. Thank you.
Muchas gracias.
Dan, come over here. All right, look at this man. If you don't subscribe, he will literally cry right now. Don't worry, they subscribe, so you don't have to. Yeah. Just end it like that. Oh, and one more thing.
Operation Smile is amazing and they're doing incredible work all around the world. We want to help them continue to be able to provide these surgeries to children all around the world.
In other words, if you don't donate to Operation Smile, you just hate kids.